Well, when the web first started becoming popular, we measured the traffic in hits, found that that wasn't very accurate. We went then to page views, unique visitors. Well, now they're talking about looking at that again and seeing if they can come up with a more accurate way. At stake is over $17 billion a year spent on internet advertising. We've got Mathew Ingram on the line from the Globe and Mail. Thanks for joining us, Mathew.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
$17 billion, quite a lot of money, but they are looking at better ways to monitor this traffic.
Yeah, and it's not surprising. I mean, anyone who is involved with a website of any size, I think, has come to realize that page views are just not a great measure of your site's, engagement levels or stickiness or whatever you want to call it. It's just a pure counting people coming through the turnstile, and that that worked for a certain amount of time, and it's a kind of raw way of picturing how big a website is. But when you talk about, look at Facebook, for example, last month, according to a report I read, Facebook's page views went from 1 billion a day, that's every single day, 1 billion page views, to 1.5 billion page views in a single month.
So what are they looking at now then to measure that more accurately?
Well, it looks like everybody's trying to come up with a way of measuring engagement, as some call it. Nielsen Net Ratings is looking at amount of time spent, so tracking not just how many hits, but if you come, how long you spend. ComScore or Media Metrics, I think, is looking at time spent and return visits over a certain period. So you can say this person came back every day, this person came back 3 times in a week, and they spent X amount of time. Obviously, there's flaws with those as well. Someone pointed out, what if I have 15 different tabs open in Firefox? One of those tabs is your page. It sits there all day long, but I'm not looking at it. So how do you, measuring that could be even more difficult.
Do you think any of the big portals have more to gain by getting more accurate reporting?
I think everybody has something to gain. I mean, sure, you won't be able to boast about 1.5 billion page views a day, but at least you'll be able to say, this number of users came and they did this and they spent this amount of time. And I think that, especially as online advertising matures, advertisers, I don't think, are, at least the sophisticated ones or intelligent ones, aren't as impressed anymore by just a raw page view number. They want to see demographics. They want to see how long people spent. They want to see, did they click on anything? How engaged were they in the content, as opposed to just, did they see it?
I wonder if it really is a big a problem as people think. I would think that a lot of the more savvy online advertisers and marketers would realize the different limitations of the measurement and be able to adjust accordingly.
I think some do, and I think that's sort of an education process that's probably happening. The ones that have spent a certain amount of time online realize that page views really are something that go back to the late 90s, where everybody talked about eyeballs and you needed more eyeballs. And I think people are starting to realize it's not just the eyeballs. You need a certain kind of eyeballs. You'd like the eyeballs to spend a certain amount of time looking at your content, and then you'd like the person behind the eyeballs to do certain things. And to the extent you can measure those things, you get a much better grasp over how engaged they are with your website.
Mathew, I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Mathew Ingram from the Globe and Mail. You can read more of his articles at globetechnology.com.